Hi, little yarnivores. Fiber Spider back again with the continuation of the Pentagon virus blanket, and we are on round 7. Thank you so much for joining me again. And so, in the last round, we finished by slip stitching to that first double crochet. Well, now we need to slip stitch our way to the middle of this fan here. Now, this is where I differed as far as the original pattern that I found, because in order to do the continuation of the rounds at this point, I thought that was kind of difficult. So we're going to mosey our way over to the 5th space over here. Now, if you are changing colors manually, then you could just end your yarn here and then join in the 5th space over here. I'm using a color changing yarn, so we're going to do it this way. So slip stitch into this next space, like so, and then slip stitch into the double crochet, and then slip stitch into the next space, and into the next double crochet, and into the next space, and into the next double. Just slip stitches, not single crochets, but slip stitches. And then into the next space, which would be 1, 2, 3, and then 4. All right, so one more. So into the next double crochet, slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the next space, like so. Because if we're going to be even, all right, so I'm in the sort of decrease space here and the decrease space on this side. Boom, 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 and then smack dab right in the middle, which is where we want to be. All right, so moseying along from here, we are then going to now continue with round 7. All right, so now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of round 7. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and skipping the next space, going to the next one with a single, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip a space, going to the next with a single, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skipping over that decrease, going into the next space with a single. Now keep in mind we have 1 chain 5 and we need a total of 3 chain 3. So we need one more chain 3, 1 and 2 and 3, skip a space, going to the next space with a single crochet. Now we need 2 chain 5s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip a space, going into the next space with a single, chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there we go, skip a space, going into the next space with a single, and so we've got our 2 chain 5s. Now we need 3 chain 3s. 1, 2, 3, skip a space, going into the next space with a single, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip that decrease, going into the next space with a single, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip a space, going into the next space with a single, and now we need 2 chain 5s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip a space, going to the next with a single, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip a space, going to the next with a single, and now we need 3 chain 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, skip a space, going to the next, chain 3, 2, 3. Skip that decrease, going to the next space with a single, chain 3. Okay, skip a space, going to the next with a single. And now we need 2 chain 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip that space, going to the next. There we go. Chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip a space, going to the next. Whoop. Need some more yarn. Okay, we have our 2 chain 5s, so now we need 3 chain 3s. 1, 2, 3. Skip a space, going to the next with a single, chain 3. Skip that decrease, going to the next with a single, chain 3. Skip a space, going to the next. And now here, yeah, we're almost there. Okay, so here we need again our 2 chain 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip that space, going to the next with a single, chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip that space, going to the next, and 3 chain 3s. 1, 2, 3. Skip a space, going to the next. All right, now it is right here that we have our slip stitches. Now, yes, you can see it, but is it so prominent that it totally detracts? I would say no. Also, considering how, busy the pattern is once you see it in its full spectrum and glory and, grandeur, I really think that this is quite minimal, in the grand scheme of things. So we have 1 chain 3 here. We need 2 more. 1, 2, 3. Skip that center space, that decrease, going to the next with a single. And then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip that next space, going to the next with a single. And then last but not least, chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip this space, going into the next space with a single. And as soon as we do that, slip stitch into this chain 5 loop. And there you go. That is the end of round 7. And like I said, this is my own personal variation because I felt that doing the beginning of the round in this location, for me, it did not work out quite as well. Okay. Now, this is my personal preference. So personally, I think, that going up here worked out a little bit better. And if you agree, great. If not, well, you can follow the pattern as is, no problem, no offense taken. But this is, my personal take. So without further ado, let's keep going with round 8. Round 8. All right. By the way, as far as the slip stitching is concerned, that is the only instance in the rest of the entire piece that we need to do that. So it's not going to be a regular instance. The rest of it is going to go pretty much standard to the virus pattern. All right. So we are in our first chain 5 space. So to start off, we need to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3 for our first double crochet. And we need 9 more double crochets into this same chain 5 space for a total of 10. So we've got 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, going directly into the next chain 3 space with a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space. So we went from 3 chain 3 spaces down to 2 chain 3 spaces. That is what we want. And then we have our chain 5 spaces. So going right in with 10 double crochets into the first and then 10 into the second for a total of 20. No chains in between. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and yes, I do want to double count this one. So I've got 5 and 5. Perfect. Okay. Sometimes it does pay to double count, just in case. So now I need 10 into this next space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then going into the next chain 3 space with a single. Now keep in mind, yes, for each of these chain 5 spaces, yes, you need 10 double crochets each, but you do not want to do a chain in between. All right, want to keep it nice and concise. All right, so we did our single crochet into the chain 3 space, chain 3, and single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3 again, and single crochet into the next chain 3 space for a total of 2 chain 3 spaces. All right, into the next pair of chain 5 spaces, 10 double crochets in each. 1, 2, 3, oops, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then 10 in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. Okie dokie. And then we have our 2 chain 5 spaces, so 10 double crochets in each. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 into the next chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3 again, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. And we are almost at the end of round 8. All right, so into the chain 5 space, we need 10 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 double crochets into the next chain 5 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, then single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and then last but not least, we need 10 double crochets into this last chain 5 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then, to finish off round 8, do a slip stitch into the top 3rd chain of our first double crochet right there. And there you go. All right, now at this point, I would strongly suggest go back and double count your clusters of 10, just to be sure, because it will save you a world of hurt, if you double count now, as opposed to paying for it later in case if you miscounted. And then we shall go on to round 9. Okay, round 9. All right, so for round 9, it's going to follow suit pretty much similar to round 8, where we're going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. And then into every double crochet, do a double crochet. And this round is just a little bit easier because we don't actually have to count our doubles. We're just going stitch for stitch, which makes it a lot easier. Same thing with the following round. We're just going to mosey our way across until we reach our chain 3 spaces. And that way you don't have to hear me counting all silly-nilly. All right, now keep in mind what I've said previously is to be aware of your single crochets. This right here is a single crochet. You would not do a double crochet into there. Otherwise, you will throw your count off. And if you want to double check, as you can see, I've got 5 and another 5. Does not hurt to check. But going directly from here, again, you avoid that single crochet. Okay, going directly from the double crochet into the chain 3 space with a single crochet, chain 3, and then going into the next chain 3 space with a single crochet. So again, we went from 3 chain 3 spaces down to 2 and down to 1. All right, so going directly from here into the next double crochet, again, being careful, we're not going into the single, we're going into the double with a double crochet, and every other double with a double. And looks like we're color changing once again. I love this yarn. All right, so we've got 2. And we're just going to keep doing our double crochets all the way across. And of course, this is going to be a total of 20 because there are no single chain stitches in between. So it's just going straight across the arch. Makes it nice and simple. And, once we get into the actual several round repeat, this, I think, will become one of those projects that once you get the hang of it, it will become what I call mindful stitching. You don't have to worry about the pattern. You can just look at your project and you'll see exactly where you are within the piece, and you don't have to worry about the actual pattern, and you can just have a nice little Zen moment, which I'm sure you'll agree with me we could all use more of in this day and age. All right, so I've reached the end. So we are not going to go into that single crochet. We're going to go right into the chain space with a single, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain space, pull out a little bit more yarn, and continue on our merry little way, avoiding the single crochet right there, going into the double with the double, and technically speaking 19 more for a total of 20 because we have 10 and 10. And we shall scoot our way across. And as far as what you could use this blanket for, I imagine, yes, you could probably use it as a baby blanket. However, I'm thinking personally more of a throw, which means you would need a bit more yarn because you would want it to be a bit bigger. But I think it is absolutely such a gorgeous piece. Also, if you want to do perhaps a smaller version of this for a tabletop doily, maybe using mercerized cotton in a nice fine gauge. Once you get used to the pattern, I wouldn't suggest trying this right off the bat with a really, really fine thread of cotton, I would suggest try doing it first with yarn so that you get a feel for the pattern first. All right, so skipping that single, going right into the chain space with a single, chain 3, and then single crochet into the next chain space, and then doing our doubles across this fan. Skipping that first single, going into that double. Got to be careful of that. But yeah, I think this would make a lovely tablecloth or a doily, to each their own, some sort of table topper. But me, I'm all into being all snuggly wuggly with the blankets, so I think this would make a really nice throw. All right, and yeah, we still have a ways to go, but we shall get there. Alrighty. There we go. Pull out a bit more yarn. And I could very easily just say, oh, and just continue going on in this fashion until the end of the round, but I like spending some time with you guys. It's been a while since I've done an actual crochet along, and I don't think that this is going to be, a particularly long series. I think I'm going to do another video after this for this particular project, but I like spending time with you guys and, really trying to be thorough and show you what is involved. See, like right here, we have another single crochet, which we want to avoid. So skipping that, going into the chain space with a single crochet, chain 3, and then single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and then doing a double, skipping over that single crochet, going into the next double with a double, and keep going this way. You just got to be careful of those little tricky points right there. Other than that, it's just double crochets into double crochets, so it's really not that hard. But like I was saying, I like spending time with you guys and, kibitzing and so forth. A number of you have said that, you actually find yourselves talking back to me at the TV, which, hey, hello, how are you? It's okay. I do the same thing with some YouTubers that I watch. It's not as silly as you may think. All right, and gonna work our way across the top, and we are almost to the end of round 9, and we shall continue on. All right, so just continuing right along as we have been. Every now and then I have to stop my camera because I can't make the clips as long as I would like to, so that's why it might seem a little bit jarring every now and again, but I am actually filming every step of the way thus far. And like I said, you could always skip ahead to another part in the video. I will put timestamps in the description box, as I quite often do. All right, so now again, have to skip that single crochet, going into the chain 3 space with a single, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and then skipping that single crochet, going into the double with a double. And we are just about at the end of row 9. Well, row 9, round 9, potato, potato, it's the same thing. Okay, and we are almost there. And one more. And if you are ever in doubt, you can always double count your double crochets. Just love nuts when they happen, don't you? Now you can always double check your counts to make sure. See, for instance, I've got my 5 and I've got another 5. Perfect. All right, so then to finish off round 9, again, just go to the 3rd chain from the bottom and slip stitch right in there. And voila, that is the end of round 9. And we are really making some progress. We're getting there, and we shall continue to get there. All right, be right back with round 10. Okay, round 10. Going to start by chaining up 4 because we need a double crochet and a chain 1 space. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to continue by doing that into every stitch, a double crochet, and then separate it with a chain 1 space, double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, excuse me, and double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and another double, chain 1, another double, chain 1, and we're going to keep doing this until we reach the chain space. So it's going to be a total of 10 double crochets. All right, I'm pretty sure I got my count right. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Perfect. Just what I like. All right, so right now, do not chain 1. Just leave it as is with the double crochet. And we're going to scoot over this chain 3 space. And we're going to go into the next double crochet on this side. Again, be careful. Do not go into the single crochet. You want to go into the double crochet with a double crochet stitch, like so. See, we skip the chain 3 space and that single crochet stitch. You want to skip that, just like you don't want to go into this one either. And then we're going to continue on by doing a chain 1 and a double crochet into each double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and so on and so forth. Just being wary when we reach those chain 3 spaces, because you don't want to work into those single crochet stitches. Otherwise, it will throw your count off. And I do get a number of comments about how they sort of got stuck, about people getting stuck and they don't understand what went wrong. My first suggestion always is to go back, double count, because that is, I would say, the most common mistake that even I make, that I miscounted, I accidentally added a stitch or didn't add a stitch, and it will throw you off, for the rest of the piece. And of course, you don't want that naturally. Also, another thing that I would suggest is when you're first learning a pattern, sometimes it's easier to watch the video first, then pick up your hook and your yarn, and then try to do it. Trying to learn it and do it at the same time for the first time, it works for some, not for others. Personally, I like watching the video first and then trying to go in with my hook and my yarn after I have perhaps a better understanding of what exactly it is that I'm going to be doing. You know, that is another thing that I find that can be a bit of a pitfall. Trying to learn and do at the same time can be a bit of a information overload, you know. All right, so I've reached my single crochet stitch, so I did not chain one after my double. I'm gonna go skipping the single crochet, the chain 3 space, and this single crochet, going into the double crochet with a double crochet, like so. And then chain one and double crochet, chain one and double crochet. And we're going to keep going. You know, another thing that I also quite frequently tell people when they feel that they've gotten stuck and they're ready to tear their hair out, and, you know, hey, I understand frustration, believe you me. You know, when you really want to understand and you really want to get it and you can't, and it's just not clicking, sometimes you just need a fresh perspective. You know, turn the screen off, go get a nice cup of tea, do a bit of reading, perhaps even sleep on it, and then when you're feeling a little more refreshed and you have a different perspective, then try it again. But if you're overtired and you're frustrated because you've been trying to get it for the past 45 minutes and it's just not clicking, well, you know what? Maybe you need a little bit of a break, and that's okay. Sometimes I do too. And then I go back with a fresh perspective, and I go back in, and then all of a sudden, ooh, I get it. Eureka. You know, it happens, you know, even to me, you know, because I'm always trying to learn new things, and I'm always experimenting, and I'm always fiddling with patterns. And, you know, sometimes, yeah, that's all it takes is a fresh perspective and a little recharge, you know, because sometimes I'm stitching, you know, 8, 12, you know, 16 hours in a day. And yeah, it's easy to get yourself burnt out. All right, and so we're just going to keep on keeping on. And where are we at? We are at another one of our junctures. And so, yeah, we need to skip the single, skip the chain space, skip the other single, and then double crochet into that next space, that next double. There we go. Chain one and double, chain one and double, and so on and so forth. There we go. I tell you, it's been such a long time since I did my tutorial on the virus shawl. It's been like something like 2 years since I did that initial tutorial, and I still see that so many of you watch that one, and I'm delighted, and I'm very happy that you guys like that one. And then, of course, I have the virus meets granny shawl and the virus blanket and the granny meets virus blanket. And, you know, I thought, yeah, could go for another one. And then I thought, wait a minute, virus Pentagon. No, this is not political. This is geometry. This is not political. You know, I was like worried. What was I going to get flagged by YouTube? You know, talking about a virus in the Pentagon. No, nothing like that. but I thought it would be fun to try, utilizing different shapes with such a great stitch. And when I came across it on Ravelry, I thought, ooh, it is worth doing. But you know me, I can't just let things be as they are. I love to tweak and experiment, and on top of this, I'm also tweaking and working on something else as well, again with the virus stitch, and we will see what we will see about that. And all right, so I'm just going to get some more yarn ready, and we will continue on with our round 10. All right, so I'm at another one of those junctures. So again, I need to skip the single, the chain space, and the single going into the double with the double, like so. And then continue with my chain 1 and double crochet. There we go. And I think that at the end of this round, that's going to be the end of part 2 of this series. And then I'm going to show you how to do a full repeat. And if there is enough of a request for it, I might do a second full repeat, because I do fully and totally understand that sometimes it just takes a little bit of an extra nudge, a push, a comforting holding hand in order to get something. I get it. I totally understand that. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more for it to click, and that's all right. I am here for you guys, and you guys have certainly been here for me, so it's a reciprocal kind of thing. And I like helping out as best I can. So yeah, I mean, if there is enough of a need, enough of a request, I very well may do that. But yeah, after this video, I'm definitely going to do a full repeat as is. All right, so we've reached another juncture. So again, skip that single, skip the chain space, and skip that next single going into the double with a double. Chain 1, double into the next, and chain 1, and so on and so forth until we reach the beginning of the round. And then we can call it a day, so to speak. There we go. Okie dokie, and I've got one more to go. Right in there. And just to be sure, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Perfect. All right, and now I do need to chain 1 and then slip stitch into the third chain from the bottom. There we go, making sure that there's still a chain 1 space in between there. And da-da-da-da! All right, that's the end of round 10. All right, and there you have it, folks. We have the end of round 10, and as you can see, we now have our pairs of eyelets in each of the points, and that is essentially, the jumping off point for the rest of the blanket. and we are going to have more eyelets forming in these divot points to create the sides. But that's going to have to wait until the next part of this series, and I really hope that you're enjoying this because I am having a blast. The colors are gorgeous, the stitch is fabulous, and you guys are fabulous too. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do like this, please show your support. Give me a little thumbs up button down below. I always appreciate your appreciation, and of course, please hit subscribe for more videos, and hit the little notification icon so that you'll be informed as to when my next video comes up. Also, I do try to post videos as often as I can, whether it's crocheting or knitting or audiobook narration, so you'll be informed about those too. And also, of course, check out my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, for video game playthrough and commentary, and it's a lot of fun. And I hope you've been I hope that you have been enjoying yourself this evening. And until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys. Happy stitching, and I will see you soon. Have a good day now. Bye.